What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? This is the first episode. This is the first episode. We going live. Soul of Us. We on Instagram. We on YouTube. We on Facebook as well. So my name is Hanif Akinyemi. I just want to let you guys know that I'm excited. I appreciate you guys checking us out. This is our first episode. It's been a long time coming. Soul of Us, which is a podcast that's geared towards promoting equity, social emotional learning, emotional literacy, trauma awareness, but most of all, being able to look through the lenses of emotional wellness or look at today's world, right? And be able to, take what we've been through and live our best lives. So, the podcast, we're going to talk about a lot of different subjects and stuff. But I just wanted to come in, and say thank you for, the support, those who have been supporting. And we're going to get right into it. So tonight on episode 1 of Soul of Us, we will be just doing an intro. I'm going to let you guys know who I am, a little bit where I've come from. And also, we're going to talk about the state of emergency. The state of emergency, when I say the state of emergency, to me, that means that we are uh, in a state of emergency when it comes to emotional wellness, when it comes to mental health, when it comes to just morally competent people who are empathetic and compassionate. We're in a state of emergency. So we're going to get those. That's what we're going to talk about today. First episode. So, check us out. We're live right now. I'm excited again. We live on Instagram. We're live on Facebook. We will be going live on YouTube to come. But it will be uploaded to YouTube as soon as we finish. So tonight, we want to welcome you guys to the discussion, Soul of Us. And Soul of Us is a brainchild that basically has grown over the last few years. Um, Especially within the last year, it gained a lot of ground. Myself, Hanif Akinyemi, I'm a community advocate. I work in various different avenues. So I work within the school, I work within the community, I work within the criminal justice system, with youth, with adults. I work with men, women. So a lot of my experience, and I'm located here in Memphis, Tennessee, but a lot of my experience has come within the last 10 years of my life. And this podcast was my way of giving my education, giving my piece to the world and Soul of Us, right? Because it's all about us. Unified Stance is my business, Unified Stance Family Services. So Soul of Us is Unified Stance, Soul of Unified Stance, right? And Unified Stance symbolizes us all being together, us all loving each other, trying to understand each other. It's us, setting aside our differences, but understanding why we're different. Why, that's what Unified Stance comes for. It comes from that place of wanting everybody to be happy, have a piece of happiness, live, peacefully. But in order to do that, it comes with compassion. It comes with understanding, right? So, Soul of Us, that's what we're here for, is to promote the coming together of people through understanding, through love, through conversation, empathy, and compassion. So that's what Unified Stance is. So when you hear Soul of Us, that's double entendre, Soul of Us as in us, the family, human being, the humans, right? And then also Soul of Us, Soul of Unified Stance, all of us coming together, the soul of us coming together, the soul of us being one, right? And not being me, but us, right? So that's where, the name came from. That's where the motivation behind, you know, the 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 motivation behind everything that you see today, right? Even with me, I'm all about bringing people together. Specifically, I got my bachelor's in nursing. I got a master's in social work, and I got an education, through experience, the streets, as they say, right? Just being a young black man growing up, being from Philadelphia, PA, the 215. You know, you see a lot, you grow up, you experience a lot of trauma, um, a lot of education, and how the way the world works. That is what prepared me to go out into the world. And I went to Florida A&M University, FAMU, stand up. So I went out to FAMU, learn even more, and I've been in the South ever since. But it's been all about me learning culture, understanding people, understanding myself. And through all of that time, I've worked in different areas trying to improve mental health. So just giving people techniques, whether it's barbershop talk, where we have men come and we talk about, child support, expungement, different things that's relative to men. Or we'll have a family barbershop talk where we have females and males and children, and we talk about the uh, all of the ailments in the community, all of the things that need to be addressed in the community as they see it, right? So it's my expertise, my passion is working with people where they're at, meeting them where they're at, and a lot of my work is geared around that. I've been a part of an organization called Men Healing Men in Communities, and we've hosted different events here in Memphis, Tennessee. I've also traveled to different parts of the South to spread the message of emotional literacy and cultural competency and trauma awareness. So this is what I've been doing over the last last 10 years. It's just become more, I've honed my skills, and I really want to give the people a piece of, what I've experienced. I want to give them, some resources, some tools to help them grow, to be able to, live a better life. I feel like I've learned these things and I've applied it to myself. So, I feel like, the best thing to do is to give it away, and to give it away for free, So I do have a support group that, you could always join. The podcast is free, but the support group, it goes in deep, it goes in heavy. So the support group will be capitalizing on all of the topics that we talk about here on the podcast, but more in depth, personal level. And that's a fee. It's on a sliding scale. So we have a interest meeting coming up. So you can go on the page Unified Stance Family Services on Facebook, and there is a link to Eventbrite, or you can go on Instagram, and there's also a link to Eventbrite. Soul of Unified Stance on Instagram, or Soul of Us podcast, and you can get that link to that support group. So, that's just a little bit about, Soul of Us. What is this? Who are we? What are we trying to do? So, that's just a little intro. I just want to get a little 10-minute intro, nothing too major, nothing too minor, just to let y'all guys get to know me. I'm just a Philly boy in the South. Loving it, recently married, family man, all of those things. I'm a good friend, good father, good brother. I strive to be all of those things because I haven't been all of those things in the past. So just, I'm just like everybody else. I'm just trying to be my best self, learn from my mistakes, learn through education, and just spread the love. So, we're going to get right into the topic. So tonight's topic, episode one. So tonight's topic, episode one, we'll be covering the state of emergency. State of emergency. What does he mean when he say state of emergency? What is that? What are we talking about? So state of emergency in America has nothing to do with jobs and money, um, or even racism as like it's state of emergency is those things are major. But when I say state of emergency, I really am focusing on emotional wellness and mental health, right? So, and physical wellness too, all three of those. So, and the state of emergency we're in today is that we live in a society where no matter the race, culture, or creed, your socioeconomic status, we are bombarded with the information that mental health isn't as important. It's something more of a taboo in some communities. Some other communities don't even have real access to it. Uh, it's something, and that's just mental health and specifically emotional wellness. We're in a culture that's very selfish and greedy. So when you have a selfish culture, very greedy, our moral compass, we are morally injured as a culture. Like we have normalized behaviors that we shouldn't normalize as a people. So we have a state of emergency going on because we are impacted. We are impacted by these things that go on every day, and we don't have those conversations. We don't have those conversations on how these things impact me, how these things, make me feel, how the things that I see or the things that I go through, dictate how I treat other people. We have to have this conversation because we are in a state of emergency, a state of emergency. People need to wake up and really recalibrate, their mental priorities. Like what is driving you, because I understand that, we need money to live, but money doesn't make you whole. Money doesn't validate you. And we see that people can have money and still not be happy or still be going through trials and tribulations, still not have good relations. Bill Gates and Melinda Gates, they billionaires and they still going through a divorce. Still going through a divorce. That's just letting you know that problems exist on all levels. So money isn't the answer, right? So money isn't the end all. It's not the cure. I mean, it can alleviate some type of pain, or it can soften blows. It can help you make it through certain situations because of the finance, right? But we have to recalibrate. We got to look at it and say the reason why our interactions aren't as quality as they could be isn't because of finance or position in society. It's because of our learned behaviors. It's our emotional tolerance. It's our our prejudice. It's our bias. It's these things that make us up as a person that, from a child. And a lot of us, we grow up and we never mature emotionally. So we're stuck in that 15, 16, or that 10-year-old, that 3, 4-year-old place due to trauma, due to whatever has happened to us in the past, our experience or whatever we've witnessed. And that's where we operate from. We operate from that place in all the things that we do. It's a subconscious level. Whereas though a lot of times we're in autopilot, a person can say something to you triggered based on something that you went through. Like this is the way you protect yourself. This is the way you defend yourself. It may not even be healthy, but that's just what it is. That's just who you are based on what you went through. So when I say it's a state of emergency, not pointing fingers, not calling anybody out, but calling everybody out, saying that we all need to look in that mirror. We all need to start looking in that mirror of, ourselves to see, am I emotionally well? Have I normalized behaviors that aren't cool? Am I happy? You know what I'm saying? Am I happy with myself? Am I happy with my environment? Where am I at? Check on yourself. It's the temperature. And that's what we're going to start, talking about practical skills, practical things. Today's just the intro. I don't want to overload you guys with the information. We got a long journey. This is episode 1. You feel me? Episode 1, family. So I just wanted to come on here and really hone in, like just talk to you, episode 1, about, our emotional wellness, because we got to start to take our temperature. We got to really start to take our temperature and really start to acknowledge what's going on with us. We're getting bombarded with different, images. And that's not just, whether it's traumatic, whether it's violence, whether it's, just peer pressure, societal pressure, whether it's, international, national. We getting so much, things that, so we're getting pressed upon us, a lot of different images, a lot of different experiences, like George Floyd. That is traumatic for everyone who saw that. Why? Because that is cold-blooded murder, right? It's not about race when it comes to traumatic experiences. When it comes to traumatic experiences, it affects everyone that sees it, whether or not you get mad or sad, because we have more than just two emotions. We got a myriad of emotions. And when you see something as drastic as that, it brings out for some people, it brings out the I can't find the word to say, but it's like it brings them alive in ways that sometimes it's very harmful. Like, it's the crying, it's the, oh my God, we've seen it. It's like people go to another place when they're seeing this type of violence or this type of, these type of images that are so horrible, and then, we try to go back to life. We try to go back to the way things were, but you're never the same after you see things like that. People who are close up on those things, especially, you watch a person get strangled, you watch a person get beat, you watch a person get murdered, you watch a person overdose on drugs. We will never be the same after that. And society trains us to suck it up, keep it moving. Society has that bootstrap mentality, right? And it's positives and it's negatives when it comes to that bootstrap mentality. It's all of that, because while you can get further in life, when you realize that I'm self-aware and I know who I am and I know what I want to do, you can get far, and you just tunnel vision. You pick yourself up by your boots and you can go far on an individual level, right? Right. But also, if we look at the flip side, because it's two sides to that coin, that bootstrap mentality is another pill to swallow, because we're not naturally supposed to be just doing everything on our own. And then going through the life of doing everything, the trauma of having to struggle, the trauma of having to overcome different circumstances, different obstacles, it puts us in a place of sometimes bitterness. It takes away from who we are as a person. So, even with that bootstrap mentality, while it can benefit us, it also takes away from our emotional capacity, in some ways, right? And then I'm not saying these are all absolute. When I'm speaking, like this, just the intro, like to y'all get a little bit of who I am, a little bit of what I do. When I'm speaking, I'm not talking in absolutes, because there are 7.5, almost 8 billion people in this world. So with that being said, there's a lot of different versions of human beings. It's a lot of different versions of living life. And with that, I understand that, what I see is just my experience, but I know there's others out there that experience what I've experienced, and through research and, through testimony, I'm just speaking through my own education. So please, when you listen, have an open mind, have an open heart, just give me the benefit of the doubt and check me. Don't but just believe me. Go do your own research. Go see if there's literature out there on emotional wellness, on social emotional learning, on emotional literacy, right? Because that's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about emotional literacy. We're going to be talking about emotional wellness, defining these things, defining these. So, and I really want to start with emotional literacy because emotional literacy is the ability to identify, right? To read, to label your emotions, right? To be able to act on them, right? To put them all together in a socially healthy way. So, in a socially healthy way. What up, Jeff? Appreciate you coming in, man. But in a socially healthy way. So, emotional literacy is, I'm going to repeat it. Emotional literacy is when you're able to identify, read, label, able to put all your emotions together in a way that you're able to act on it, make decisions in a socially healthy way. So you're able to express yourself in a socially healthy and acceptable manner, right? And that's why I say, we have a state of emergency going on because the level of emotional literacy, the level of the amount of people that are able to identify, to label, to read their own emotions, then able to integrate it, right, in a way that they can express themselves in an emotionally or a socially acceptable, healthy way. We're that's it's at an all-time low in my book because we don't communicate. We don't put emotions and expression as a priority. We live in the me, self, I. It's all about me culture. And everybody's not like that. But when we have a culture that dominates, we have good people that get harmed. We have good people that go through situations. And then we have people that are stuck in situations and they know that it's wrong, but they're morally injured. They don't know how to be different because they've never been taught. They don't know how to mature emotionally. It's still, like I said, that child, that operating from that child point of view. So, you know what I'm saying? We got to know what emotional literacy is. We'll talk about financial literacy. We'll talk about financial literacy. In the black community, everybody wolf on Wall Street now, right? Everybody, we all on Facebook, Instagram, we Forexing, we digital currency, Bitcoin, Dogecoin. We diving in, right, to get more funds. But we also have to give that same energy to our mental and emotional wellness, not just your financial wellness, not just your bank account. Find the ways to make more money because when you actualize yourself, and we're gonna get real on this podcast. When you become your true self and you stand in your truth and you stand in your glory, your passion, right? It won't be about money. Your money will come, right? Right? You'll be able to impact your environment in a way that will attract all of the things that you want and need in your life. But that comes from maturity. That comes from self-awareness. That comes from social awareness. That comes from being able to control your emotions. That comes from being able to control your behaviors, being able to make responsible decisions, and being able to relationship build, being able to build relationships in a magical way that networks you into success, networks you into happiness. But when we want to do it our way and we want to blaze a trail of heartache, selfishness, and greed on the way to the top, we then get into, these different, ailments. You know what I'm saying? Whether people are affected by us or we're impacting people, we get the anxiety, the depression, all of these things that come from, our lack of investing in our emotional literacy and how we deal with the world, how we express ourselves to the world. We got to be able to express ourselves to the world in a very positive manner, right? And all I'm saying these things because, whether you Christian, whether you Muslim, whether you Buddhist, whether you Jewish, right? I think all spiritual lineages, all people who have a relationship with a higher power, right? My understanding is that it's all about love. It's all about love. And I think a lot of people in this world just want love. They just want to be loved. They just want to be taken care of. They want to be nurtured. They want to be supported. You feel me? They don't want to be talked down to. They don't want to be, abused emotionally, physically, sexually. They don't want to be abused, financially. You know what I'm saying? Systemically. We people just want to be loved and to be happy. And I believe that all higher powers, however you connect, the foundation is love. The foundation is connectedness, is, being a humane individual. And that's where the education, that's what Soul of Us is all about. Soul of us, unified stance, us together, bringing that into the forefront, helping us understand that in order to achieve a better world, we have to all work together. So it's not our problems versus your problems. It's not men versus women. It's not old versus young. It's not light versus dark, rich versus poor. It's not none of that. We all breathe the same air. We all eat the same foods, right? Variations of the same food. We got so many things in common, but we like to focus on the things that drive us apart. We like to focus on our differences, not our commonalities. And with that, we create a culture of loneliness, of alienation, of, competition, and these are the things that through drive us to be cynical, right? When we look at the world and we just like, man, we don't believe and have that faith, have that positivity, that love for life like we used to. We look at it when we see the negativities before we see the positivities. So Soul of Us, we here to start looking at situations, seeing how we can heal from situations, seeing how we contribute to situations, just all of these different things through these episodes, through the support group. Soul of Us is geared towards helping us mature on another level because we got generations that's coming up behind us that they only know how to growl. They only know how to react emotionally. We trying to show them that you got more than just two emotions, mad, sad, or happy. You got more than just two emotions. You got a way to express yourself that doesn't have to be aggressive. There's ways to express yourself that can be very intellectual, articulate. You don't even have to use big words. It's just learning different techniques. But we first got to introduce ourselves to us. We got to be self-aware. We got to know who we are. That's why this is a state of emergency. It's a state of emergency. I'm calling everybody to the carpet. I'm not calling one individual. I'm calling us all to the carpet. Because at the end of the day, we got to be able to hold each other accountable when it comes to this love. We quit to play that game of pettiness, of devilishment. We quit to fall into the lane of ugliness, but we're not quick to get that love out because, we have that the trust issue. Is it genuine? We don't operate like when we were kids, when you saw someone, you waved. When You went somewhere, you spoke. I still see it to this day. It's kids that in the neighborhood, they walk past, they wave. They don't care if they know me or not. If I wave back, it is what it is. They're going about their business. But I know that the world has corrupted us as a people due to all of the things going on, kids being touched, children being snatched, um, people being abused, women being abused, men being abused. I know that we live in a trying time. That's why it's a state of emergency. And we got to stand on the truth. We got to look at things through the lenses of emotional literacy because the facts is out there. I'm not speaking just from my opinion. I'm speaking from the facts that's out there. The facts that's out there, they telling us that we're not living right emotionally. They telling us that we're not living right physically. You know what I'm saying? They see it. We seeing the murder rates go up. We seeing the divorce rates go up. We seeing the amount of single parent households out here. Don't mean that the children don't have two parents, but it's the difference when you got a single parent household, right? Even if the other person is in the house, they can't be there all the time. That child still is in an imbalance that has to be adjusted to make balance. So we have to be able to be there for them, the children. It takes a village. If mom raising all these kids by herself, these kids still got to learn how to be people. So we all got to come to the carpet. If dad only one that doing it by himself, he need help. We got to do this in a way that we look out for each other. We really showing love and affection and empathy because that's what Soul of Us is all about. We calling the negativity to the carpet. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's stop allowing, for things to just go unchecked. That age old, what happens in this family stays in this family. When you got people 20, 30 years living with pain, living with trauma, not able to have real relationships, get good sleep, because we don't have conversation, because we don't heal. We don't repair the damages. We don't know how to identify our feelings. Say I know why I'm mad. I know why I'm feeling this way. I know what's going on with me. That's where it starts. That's where it starts. This is a long journey. It's a lot of different things to tackle when it comes to us as a people growing. Those things that we're going to tackle in this podcast, we're going to start talking about things like perception. How perception can lead to your emotional wellness, can impact your emotional wellness, can determine your emotional wellness, right? So we're going to talk about perception. We're going to talk about communication. Communication, like how does that impact the world? Why is it important to communicate? How do you communicate? We're also going to talk about, trauma as a whole. We're going to define trauma. What does it do to you? When you're traumatized as a child, you're traumatized as an adult, what are the effects? How does that impact you every day and living every day? We want to talk about those things. We're going to relate those things to everyday living, situations that we're going through. Like we talked about George Floyd, or get specific, family, and, race and systemic, oppression. These are things that we're going to talk about because these things impact our emotional wellness. And we need to have a high emotional literacy because I'm going to keep it real with y'all. A high emotional literacy is a protective factor. And what is it a protective factor? All right. So let me get some water for this one. Let me get this one to y'all. You know what I'm saying? We about almost 40 minutes in on the first one. This first one, guys, I appreciate y'all. All of y'all that's here with me right now. We live. I appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? So again, let me get y'all this. Let me get that. So protective factor. High emotional literacy is a protective factor. And what I mean by protective factor is meaning like specific. It's like wearing pads for life, right? So you have your pads on. So like when you was a child, you know, protective factor, protective gear was your knee pads, your helmet, you know, your wrist pad if you was a skateboarder, you know what I'm saying? Different things that you put on to protect you for what you was about to go through and endure, right? So that's the same thing when I say protective factor. Now these aren't maybe physical things that you put on your body, but these are things that you put in your mind. These are behaviors that you adapt. These are an attitude that you have, that you operate from. So high emotional literacy is a protective factor because it helps you be able to deal with things in a way that it doesn't cripple you, it doesn't paralyze you, it doesn't have you out here being a perpetrator yourself, where you having unhealthy responses to things and people because of what you've done. A high emotional literacy will allow you to have a very well-adjusted life. And we know and understand when we have a well-adjusted life, emotionally, spiritually, physically, right? Then we align with our purpose. We align with the things, and like I said, we attract the things that we want and need in our life when we're riding that wave of righteousness, when we right and exact in the things that we should be doing and how we should be treating people, and we're sending out good energy, and that reciprocity is only good energy coming back, right? When we in that space and we're not getting into petty arguments and petty situations and having toxic relations and toxic experiences that only cripple us and hold us back and allow for us to learn bad habits, those bad habits that basically keep us from being our best selves. So I really want y'all. I really just came on here today. Intro, first episode. Appreciate y'all. We gonna turn up from here. I'm gonna show y'all through this podcast, and if y'all come to the Soul of Us group, right? I'm gonna show y'all how to be confident in your emotions, how to express yourself. Just that's what we're here for. Like, you a person, we express ourselves in so many different ways, but do you really feel like you know how to express yourself? Do you really feel like you know how to hear other people and take and integrate that information and control yourself? And that's what we're gonna work on. And I'm excited because this is a new lane, in my opinion, because a lot of times we look at health and wellness and we focus on the problem after the fact, right? We focus on once I didn't, I got a ailment, or once I didn't hurt myself, or once I done went through a situation, then we get to the point where I got to fix this. I got to do what I got to do to get right. But we have to understand that we don't always have to wait. We don't always have to wait until things happen to be prepared, or we don't always have to wait until things happen to learn what I need to do to be able to get through situations, right? I'm here on the front end, which can be therapeutic in itself when you're learning different information that you was never taught before, right? So this is a form of therapy, but this ain't therapy. And I don't want guys and the gals to think that, oh yeah, we about to be going in deep. No, I want you guys to learn the skills, right? So you can figure out what it is exactly that you need, what you need to do. because therapy may be something that you need and maybe may not. Support group may be something that you need, it may not be. You may just need the information. And that's why I said this is a new lane, because I'm here to just give this information away, you know? And if you want to work with me specifically, the Soul of Us support group, come check us out May 13th. The link is in the bio. You can go ahead on Instagram, Soul of Unified Stance, or Soul of Us Podcast. Facebook, you can go on and look us up at US Families Services or Unified Stance Family Services, and you'll get the link to Eventbrite and get some more information about that. Because between these two avenues, I want that information to get out there, and I want you guys to be advocates for people that have emotional wellness. I want you to learn and better yourself, get information to your children, because that's my thing. I work with the kids, but I can't send my kids home to parents that's not going to model the behaviors, that's not going to model the types of expression that needs to be modeled, that needs to the child needs to gain in order to have a good life, to be successful, right? So I wanted to get on here and, start with the people, so it could be a trickle down. We get the adults, start to buy in on emotional health, trauma awareness, so then they can start to advocate for their children, being emotional assets for their children, knowing that your children has a voice, your child has a voice, you have a voice. Speak up, say something. Don't just keep going, right? Build yourself up, and it's not hard. It's not hard at all. It's just getting with the right people, getting with the right information, sticking with it. Don't give up. Don't give up. No matter how hard it may be, no matter how hard it may get, don't give up. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are, we're in a life. We live in a life which is magical. Every day we get up, we get another chance to get it right. Every day we get it, every day that we get up, we have another chance to learn something. We have another chance to learn something that may impact us in a positive way. I watch other people's podcasts. I take information in. And one thing that I know and understand, that success don't have an age. Happiness don't have an age. Right? You can have all of those things, but you got to be able to put yourself in position. You got to be able to put yourself in position, believing in yourself, being emotionally fit, emotionally well. Our community as a whole, we have a lot of our community as a whole, we have a lot of things that are not being talked about, that is hindering us from having the success that we need financially, economically as a whole, systemically, politically. We always talk about it like crabs in the barrel mentality. We always talk about it, deadbeat parents. We don't be solution oriented, but we remember times when it wasn't like that, when it was, a village raised us. Or we go back to Africa and we look at it as African people, we always stuck together. It was always communal, right? And we see in America, there's a lot of dividing going on. So how do we protect ourselves? How do we protect our children? Where do we go from here? How do we build a culture where everybody's accepted? No matter your race, creed, gender, sexuality, because at the end of the day, it's about love. We're not about killing you for who you are. But that comes with emotional literacy. It comes with, self-awareness, social emotional learning, and I want to really hone in on those things. Like, this is just the first episode. It's just, I'm just giving y'all a piece. We ain't even hit the steak yet. We haven't. I'm just trying to help y'all understand that this is a state of emergency. It's a state of emergency. Even the people that you think that's doing well, I guarantee that it's some things that they struggling with emotionally. You know what I'm saying? Mentally. And we here to help them. Y'all don't have to pretend like you okay to look like you successful. You don't have to put up none of those fronts because at the end of the day, people don't really care about you. You care more about what they think about you than they actually do care about you. So we got to get to the point of being authentic, being real, learning, putting things back in order, being righteous, loving each other, being empathetic. Again, being empathetic. One more time for the one time. Being empathetic. And that's going to be another topic that we talk about. Empathy. Specifically, empathy. Like, we got to be empathetic. You know what I'm saying? No one's saying that you don't have, you have to love everybody the same, you know, or you have to accept everything. But we have to learn to love people from a distance as well. Like, loving them just because they're human, but I don't have to like what you do. You know, I don't have to wish death or wish pain upon you because you don't do what I do. That's being able to control my attitude, control myself, knowing myself. Like, we're really going to get into these things. And I appreciate y'all for coming out today. I appreciate y'all. You know, this thing right here was sponsored by the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Because it's been in me. It's been in me. It's been boiling me from the thing like under my skin. Is like the thing that I see like every day. Not just my education. I don't care if I never got a degree. Even just being who I am and seeing the things that I've seen, it has changed me. And it makes me think, is this all there is to us? Is this who we really are? Does it always have to be, I smack you, I yell, it's so much of that around us is the toxicness, but it doesn't have to be like that. I'm here to tell y'all, it don't have to be like that. It's just learning the right information, being around the right people. And like in the Matrix, Neo said, you got to save yourself. Got to save yourself. Now I'm here to walk that journey. Soul of us, we all here to walk that journey. Unified stance. You lean on me, I lean on you. We gonna get it. But you got to be willing to put in the work. Willing to be self-aware, to be accountable, right? And take a step back and humble yourself. Check your pride. You know what I'm saying? So that you can then, you know, get what you really need. Get what you really need, you know. So again, I appreciate y'all coming out, man. This has been like a fun first hour of the podcast. My name's Hanif Akinyemi. For those who wasn't here from, you know, the beginning of the episode, or if you joining and listening through, you know, Spotify, Apple Music, you know, wherever you're hearing it, I'm just letting you know who I am. And again, you know, I'm going to be giving you guys some truth to power. I'm going to be giving you guys a piece of me, you know, a piece of my education. And I hope you guys, you know, rock with what I done gave y'all so far, because I got a lot more to come. I didn't want to overload you guys. I just wanted to get on here and introduce myself, introduce our topics, introduce our vision, our mission, you know, who we are, Unified Stance Family Services, mental health consultant. I work specifically with the disenfranchised, right? The underserved, right? I'm a resource broker. So I'm here with y'all right now to give y'all the resources. And I love y'all. You know, that's why, again, this is sponsored by the Most High, right? Because for he so loved the world, you know, these things we got to know. It's love. It's love. It's love. So I'm going to be here every week. We're going to go on Fridays, 6 p.m. We're going to try to stream maybe 6:30, life, But again, this has been a great experience. It's been a wonderful experience. This is the first episode of Soul of Us. And just to recap, today we just talked about the state of emergency. The state of emergency. The state of emergency being that we are in an emotionally unwell society, emotionally unfit society, and that we as a people, we need to start to wake up and learn new behaviors, gain a new attitude. We need to start empowering each other. We need to start just doing things differently. State of emergency. And it starts with us as the adults in the situation, because we can't keep blaming our children for being who they are when all they're doing is being what they see. That's all. And we're gonna have bad apples, but we gotta make it a clear path for them to become a good apple, so they don't fall off the wagon and then be with the rest of them that's not on the wagon. And now we have a whole bunch of kids that don't believe in relationships, don't know how to communicate, don't respect, but all they're doing is just repeating the cycle. So it's a state of emergency. That's what we talked about today. State of us waking up. I'm not specifically pointing any fingers. I'm calling everybody to the carpet. Everybody must come and hear this. This is a public service announcement. It is a state of emergency in our community as people when it comes to emotional wellness. And we need to wake up. We need to clear our ears out, clear our heart out, and be open and be dedicated to improving this. So Soul of Us is going to be here each week as a warrior. You can come check us out. You get this information, pass it on, or just come have a good time with us. We'll be streaming live, Instagram, Soul of Us Podcast or Soul of Unified Stance, Facebook, streaming live, U.S. Families Services or Unified Stance Family Services. Check me out. And also, one last time for you guys, you can check us out. We got a support group. Again, go on those handles, check out the support group. The interest meeting, first interest meeting is coming up 13th. Next one will be on the 27th. And that will be a more focused group to go over these things. If you really want to work on yourself specifically and you want some, individualized, but still in a group setting, come check us out. But again, this has been great. This has been fantastic. I appreciate you guys. All right. Again, I'm like super excited, overjoyed. I'm glad it's Friday. I'm glad I was able to do this. First episode down. It's in the books. Come check us out. Next episode gonna be about trauma. It's gonna be a good episode. We're gonna go in, talk about from a child all the way up to adulthood solutions. So I appreciate y'all again, and we're gonna wrap it up from here. And reach out if you got any questions. If you want to talk, need anything, holler at us. It's been fun, guys. Another episode of Soul of Us coming to you. Peace.